Hey everybody, Flip with Kelly coming at you. How's everybody doing today? Just wanted to make a quick little video here. Sunday, end of the week, start of the week, however you look at it. And yeah, so this week's been kind of interesting. We just wrapped up a deal at the beginning of this month, and going to do hopefully be completing another deal on the 30th of this month, which might be our, if it closes, the second deal, I believe is going to be our first month we've done 2 deals in. So that's kind of cool. Although I guess if you do 1 deal 1 month and 1 deal the next month, then that's almost the same. And we've done that back to back to back to back months, deal, a deal per month for a while now. But yeah, just kind of a interesting milestone, I guess, if it goes down. So I'll let you know. But just got a deal. Well, seller signed a contract just yesterday, but the title company was closed because it's Saturday, so it's not executable contract yet until we get it down to the title company with the earnest money deposit. And a couple days ago I was talking to the seller, and they wanted me to change the security deposit. We normally do $100 security deposit, and they wanted me to change that to just $100 security deposit, nothing else, just to be held at escrow at the title company. That's the way we've done our last 15-20 deals, I believe. I don't think we've given any more of a deposit than that, from what I recall. I do have a partner, so I mean, she might have put down a little more than a 100 on a deal. I'd have to ask her. But anyways, these guys wanted to, or the seller's wife wanted a $3,000 non-refundable deposit, and I don't think we've ever done a non-refundable deposit before. And I'm like, well, I said $3,000 non-refundable might not be out of the question. I said, but in any agreement that anybody ever enters into, there's 2 parts of it, and one is price and then the other is terms. And I said, you're kind of asking for a top price for your property. They're asking a lot. And now they want to get the terms too. It's like you can usually either get price or terms, not both. And I said, your property needs a tremendous amount of work, and you're asking a high price, and now you want these terms. And I said, no. And the first thing I did was I reiterated back to her what she said to me. So whenever I recap it or read it, say it back to them as I understand it, that does 2 things. One, it shows I listened to what she said, and I'm not just glazing over and saying no. And then the other thing is confirming what she said. So, this is what you said to me. Yes, okay, so verify. But I'm like, well, why don't you guys, if you want to shop it around, if you think somebody would accept those terms and that price, I said, more power to you. I said, good luck. I said, it's not something that I'm interested in trying to swing, because, yeah, I said, maybe if you had a house that was all updated and whatnot, and this one is in huge need of repair. I didn't, tell her all that, but the layout's a little goofy, and then there's a toilet in the middle of the bathroom floor, not up against the wall where it's supposed to be. So it's just kind of a lot of goofy things about that. It's an older house, and there was some work done to it down in the basement, you can see if you look up, you can see the floor, some of the whatever they're called, the floorboards, stringers or whatever they are, a floor joist. They're some of them are newer in part of the basement. So, but there's so much work there. Good location, nice piece of land. It's around, I'd have to look, probably a couple acres. And it's got the garage. It's got a garage or maybe 2 or 3 outbuildings. Pretty sure it was 2. Garage is in decent shape, detached garage, but and then I think there was a septic. They said the septic works. Well, that's going by what they say. But that was reassuring that to hear that it works. But trust but verify again. So, I basically said, if you want some time to talk it over amongst yourselves in private and get back to me. And so the husband said, yeah, I'll get back to you. I did a follow-up call or text with him, and so they're like, okay, well, we'll scratch the $3,000 non-refundable. We'll stick with your $100 deposit. And I'm like, well, that's what I've done on the last 15, 20 deals. And I said, your property, it's not a pretty property, then maybe, but or if they're asking a lower price or something, but so signed contract, and but got to get it down to the so we got past the first hurdle as far as the terms. We did adjust. They did want to adjust the inspection period down, which is fine. Typically what we do for closings are 30 days. It's been our average close. And then the inspection period, typically, at least in my mind, I usually do 3/4 of the 30-day close. So that is, I believe, what's 3/4 of 30? Ain't that hard, right? Probably 20. I'm thinking business days versus regular days. So it might be whatever it is, 20, 21, 24 days. Probably 24 or something like that. But so yeah, 0.75 times 30 days. That's what it'll be. So maybe 17 or whatever it is. Well, 17 would be a little over half. So yeah, probably 24. Anyways, that's just something we started recently doing. So I don't have it in my head yet, but it's on paper. So we got the terms, and we got that agreed upon. Price, I think, is high yet, but I'm thinking we'll probably have to work on that. So 2 trains of thought here. One is to spend a little more time up front, and I'm still learning this myself a little bit, but you can just kind of say that my partner's not accepting that price, and then sometimes the seller, and this could take a long time, will gradually negotiate against himself. You don't even have to say one word about reducing their price. You can just say, my partner or our numbers aren't matching up. So the other way to do it would be to say, well, how did you come up with that amount, if you don't mind me asking? Because sometimes they think it's a house down the road, and well, maybe the house down the road is a 2-1 or a 3-1, and the seller's house is only a 2-1. It's not a true comp. Or maybe that house is all remodeled and the seller's house, the deal you're working on, ain't. So then you can say, well, would you like to see how we came to our number, and see if you can have a meeting of minds Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, let me see what you came up with here. And of course, your numbers are going to be your ARV, after repaired value, which can be a little bit of an opinion or perspective, but you can show them your perspective. And then you have your repairs. So you can walk them through, here's how we came up with the ARV, and then here's how we came up with repairs, time, material, and risk. What's your risk? Your risk could be a couple different things. Your risk could be you open up a wall and you find out that you got some carpenter ants in there. Or depending where you live, maybe it's termites. We don't have termites here in Wisconsin, but things like water erosion, carpenter ants, there's things that can mess with the structure of the home. So you can walk them through your numbers. That's another way to do it. Another way to do it could be, or the other form of risk is if the market would take a downturn, like maybe it takes you 6 months or however long it takes you and your crew to fix and flip or remodel, to rehab a house. So in that 6-month time, the economy could take a dip. We could hit a recession. We've been overdue for one for quite a while now. Personally, I think that we'll be hitting either some kind of a correction, like either a recession or a depression in 2026, most likely towards the end of 2026, possibly going into sometime in 2027. So that's what the bird is whispering in my ear. So that's what I've been hearing. Word has it. So I hope you're all prepared. I've also heard that the energy grid might go down. The electric grid might go down for possibly 10 to 12 days, which is roughly 2 weeks. I was just planning on 2 weeks. So if you are solely reliant on electricity, you might want to have a backup wood stove, or maybe you want charcoal to grill out, depending on what you have access to and what you like to store. That way you're able to cook your food, dump some warm water in the tub, however you want to do it. I don't know if you're on city water, you got well water, your well is run by electricity. I don't know if you have a generator to, you might want to go on YouTube and figure this out, but to produce electricity, possibly you can backfeed or just hook up extension cords, but the main thing for electricity is, for your cooking, again, could be for plug your freezer in for an hour a day. That would keep the food cold enough so that it stays frozen. Refrigerator, stuff like that. Maybe you need lights on or to run whatever machinery. We'll make coffee too. Anyways, getting back to, so that was a little bit of a tangent going off the risk thing. But yeah, so you've got T&M and then you got your risk. You want to make your profit. There's things to consider there, right? So kind of show them where your numbers are at, and then also explain to them that if the longer they hold on to this property, what I'm going to do is I'm going to email Tim Ferriss 21 Impossible Questions, and I think it's number 10, shows how Tim Ferriss was holding on to a property because he didn't want to sell it and lose $100,000. He made a bad investment. Just email that over. It's a free PDF. and then I'll highlight number 10, or say, hey, when you get a chance, read number 10 here. It's an interesting 1-minute read, might help you out type of thing. And so just kind of plant that seed or put a bug in his ear. Not that it's gonna sway him one way or another today, because it won't. But the husband went out to a sheriff's sale and bought a property sight unseen, and is learning a very hard lesson, because they bought it up here thinking it was worth up here, thinking they were getting a deal. I'm at the sheriff's sale, when they should have been bought it down here. And they could have avoided that if, whatever, a day or two prior to buying it at the sheriff's sale, if they would have went out to the property and consult your own attorney, or use your own common sense. But what some people will do is to enter the property. Now, is the property occupied or not? I mean, you don't want to break and enter, especially if somebody's living there. But if it's vacant, if you know that, and also or the door's open, never want to break something. Never break and enter, but enter at your own risk. Do your own research, consult your attorney, and then if nothing else, if you can't get inside, look through the windows and take your pictures or whatever you want to do. But that way or have a better idea of what you're paying $150,000 for, 160 or whatever it is. But anyway, so he's most likely going to be learning a very hard lesson here. The other way to do it is to lock it up for as low as you can at the time, because you got it locked up. Now you got control of that property for at least X number of days for that inspection period. And then if you got a really good reason to do price reduction, and we've done price reductions before, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. If they just call them up, say, hey, where do I send the cancellation to? Whoa, cancel? What do you mean? We had a deal here. Well, because of X, Y, and Z, we're going to need to knock our offer down from 150 down to 50 or whatever it is. So, because then you also got to get your assignment fee in there as well. And so it just kind of comes down to, can you find that middle ground where the seller's getting a win, your cash buyer or finance buyer is getting a win, and you're making a spread in the middle, so you get a win. And on a lot of deals, we've been able to make that work. And then there have been some that have not worked out. So if the seller's willing to play ball, if they're ready to be ready. Otherwise, it might be time and circumstances that dictate when they're ready to come around. You could also point out, here's your holding costs, and Tim Ferriss has an excellent little 2-minute read on his psychology behind why he let his property go, and his friends were telling him to rent it out, but he's like, well, I can either keep taking a loss here, I could rent it out, they could damage it, or I can cut my losses. And I know different ways to make a lot of money. He does speaking engagements and different things. It's all in the article. So that's what he did. He sold it, cut his losses, and he made the money back in short order, playing to his strengths. And because just to keep beating that dead horse and keep playing that losing game wasn't working out for him. So But took him some time to figure that out too. So it's probably true for all of us. It just takes more time. Takes time, right, to learn, they say. Um, so you could point out that they've got holding costs. They could be taking the proceeds of the sale and investing into an investment that makes it's going to be making them money. And we've already touched on this, some of this stuff with the seller, or I have with the seller. So, but we're working on it, and maybe not. And to be honest, like, job of a wholesaler is to suggest, to attempt to lead them or guide them down the funnel to progress them to the next step, towards the close of the deal. And you can lead a horse to water, but I ain't gonna make no seller sell us a house. So nor do I want to try to make a seller do anything. If he wants to sell, great. But I'm not gonna sell him on that idea that but anyways, they got to want to do it. So I like to let them figure it out, want to do it from within, like they're inspired to do it, versus I'm not going to sit there and try to motivate them or manipulate them. And but I can point out things that are in their best interests, and if they see that and they're ready to see that, then great. And if they negotiate against themselves versus against me, maybe it can be a hybrid. But so, but you know what? If you don't fly on its own free will, I'm going to keep on consistently marketing, and if they don't want to work with me, another seller will. So where should I be putting my efforts, and where should you be putting your efforts? You want to be putting your efforts into the wannabe sellers, the tire kickers, let's see what he can do, can he get me this, and if not, I'm stuck on this price, and I'm not ready to be ready. I'm not ready to negotiate against myself. I'm not willing to accept reality. Well, that's fine. But I don't need to sit here and deal with you. I can be focusing my efforts with somebody that needs to sell. What do you want to do? You want to keep spinning your tires on one seller, or would you like to move on and help somebody who actually you're providing some value to, and somebody you can actually help out? If that seller's not ready, we can be putting our effort into marketing. We can be putting our effort into, or not effort, but we can be working on acquisitions with other deals. We could be working on dispo. So, and prioritizing the activities and when to do them. So, and then bettering your business too overall, whether it be software, systems, strategies, whatever. So, and then there's other things besides wholesaling too. You could be doing trading. I like futures trading myself. Could be fixing up your house, fix and flip your house into a better house. There's You can be family first. There's lots of things to life that you putting your attention and energy, your focus into. So, yeah. So those are some of the deals we have in the mix. Things we got going on. Monday, I'll take the P&S agreement and the $100 deposit down to the title company. I've got another cash buyer or 3 to bring through that property, and we'll see kind of where everybody's at, and then see if we can talk to the seller, send them over, email them over that put that bug in a zero to Tim Ferriss, and that'll on its own free will, that will seller will either come around or he won't. And if he won't, then he can set him free, and if they want to come back, they will. And then that's when you can maybe put your time, energy, attention, all that stuff, prioritize the seller maybe in 5 months from now. And then, but just keep the consistency of the marketing and acquisitions and dispo, keep all that flowing, improve your business 1% a day, and just keep the machine rolling along. So let's see, what else was there today? Could mention too that any beginner people starting out, just keep in mind that it's probably going to take roughly 3 to 6 months to get things going, get the momentum going. And if you're expecting results right away, then probably not going to happen. So just be consistent at it. And if you have any interest in like mentorship, you can check out my WAP link below. It's super reasonable. And sometimes you have that guidance of what to do, because like I've been through it for years now. Things started booming for us in 2024, made like 100,000 in 6 months. So I've already been through a lot of what don't work and what does work, and done all the text blasting, cold calling, thousands, tens of thousands of people. And so I've got a pretty good finger on the pulse of what's going on. But yeah, otherwise, smash the like button and bell notification, subscribe, and we'll catch you next week. Okay, later guys.